in a crude laboratory in the basement of his home.
Another episode of Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. It was a slower week for mods, not in the sense that there weren't new releases. We got a ton of cool new releases, but these are a lot of smaller and more minor mods, so today's episode is probably going to be a bit shorter. But without further ado, we are checking out the VAULT-TEC Power Armor. This is one of the biggest releases of the week. It's a very anticipated new armor by Newermind43 and Captain Ultima. As you can see, it adds in this really cool and iconic piece of armor. It basically was an armor in Fallout New Vegas. It was then used as kind of a resource and remade in Fallout 4 with the totally new and redesigned power armor system, and again, it really just looks extremely high quality in game. This is probably one of the nicest looking armors as far as texture quality goes. There's a lot of little details on the armor and all that. It also has a really cool and unique way you get the armor. Basically, there's going to be pieces scattered around all of the different vaults in the Commonwealth, so you're going to have to hit up all these different vaults. Some of them you have to fight your way into, some of them you're going to have to unlock in different ways through quests and such, and the armor definitely has some pretty good stats, so it is a very rewarding armor to go and collect, and you're going to feel pretty powerful after. All around a very cool one that I know a lot of people were anticipated for, and one that I'm happy to have downloaded. Early in the week, I showed you a mod that expanded the Red Rocket settlement, basically allowing the buildable zone to be a bit farther out. Well, now the actual complete version, All Settlements Extended, has been released. More or less what it's going to do is pretty much every settlement in the game now is going to have its settlement borders built out a little bit further, so you're going to be able to construct things just a bit further out of that settlement. This has a ton of cool uses for a ton of different settlements. It's just really useful in general. A lot of that area was typically dead zones where there was nothing really there. This mod was pretty carefully made. It's not just a flat radius increase to the settlement mode. It actually has certain areas added in, certain areas not added in. You'll find some settlements will just be larger in general. Other settlements will have one side be a little bit larger. All around, again, it's a great addition. It works seamlessly. You just install this and then the settlements will start working. You don't have to do anything on your part. And again, it really is just a pretty big quality of life fix for a lot of different settlements. So another pretty big release from earlier in the week. I did show you a bit of this. This is going to be the Fallout 3 10mm pistol. It basically is a recreation of the N99, the pistol that did appear in Fallout 3. You guys have all seen this one because you got it right at the start of the game. There's a 10mm pistol in Fallout 4. There was one in Fallout New Vegas. This one is a slightly different variant. A lot of different Fallout weapons do this. Like there's 3 different versions of miniguns. The pistol itself is really high quality. It has a few different attachments, everything you're going to need. It obviously uses 10mm ammo. And at the end of the day, it really just fits quite seamlessly into the game. Integrated into the level list, you'll see it appear on enemies, and it changes things up a little bit. So another weapon that did appear in some of the older Fallouts, this is going to be the AK-112 assault rifle, otherwise known as the Soviet assault rifle. This is the assault rifle that did appear in Fallout 1 and 2. This is not the highest quality weapon mod, but it definitely gets by. It's kind of boxy, the textures do have some issues, but again, it's definitely usable, especially if you really did like Fallout 1 and 2. Obviously, you never really had this weapon in a third-person environment, because obviously Fallout 1 and 2 were top-down. This is also integrated into the level list, so you don't have to even use it yourself. You'll find it on different enemies, which it definitely looks better when they're using it rather than you using it personally. But again, it's a pretty cool weapon, definitely something I enjoyed using for the little bit of time I did have with it, and I think a lot of you guys are going to like it also. So and last but not least, we actually have a new player home mod by Eleonora. This one's pretty cool. It's going to be called the Far Harbor Shack. It's basically a shack in the middle of Far Harbor. A lot of her player homes are in the Commonwealth. I think this might actually be the first one in Far Harbor, and this is kind of different because there's not too many player home mods that do take on this DLC added area. So for that reason, there's again relatively few options here, but at the same time, you do want to have a pretty high quality player home, especially if you're used to using other player home mods that are typically a little bit better than the vanilla options. The shack itself does have a pretty cool theme around it. It has that kind of boat Far Harbor-ish theme, like you're on a dock where you actually are on a dock. If you liked Eleanor's other mods and you are playing through Far Harbor, I would definitely recommend downloading this one. Again, it has a really cool theme around it. It's a relatively small house, but it definitely gets the job done. You have storage, bed, everything you really do need. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. Again, going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. There just simply wasn't as many new kind of high quality releases this week, if you will. Regardless, I still think we had some pretty cool new mods. Some mods that hopefully you'll find interesting and want to download. But again, as always, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.